Hey guys, today I am going to do Star Wars by the decade. So today's the last day of 2019, and I thought just to kick off this channel and possibly to get revenue off of a movie that's coming out right now, we're gonna talk about each movie made by Star Wars and the shows by the decade, and we're gonna see which decade treated Star Wars the best. Alright. We're gonna start off with 1990. Really nothing came out besides The Phantom Menace, so there really isn't a lot to talk about. Even though, 2010s had a lot of stuff that people consider bad, there was a lot of it to consider, and some of it was really good. But with The Phantom Menace, you really just had that and its toys. And I mean, the toys were cool. I mean, you got a cool new pod racing game that's basically just Mario Kart. But there's not a lot to go off of. Okay? And then we have the 1970s, which of course has The New Hope, which is actually good. But other than that, you really have nothing to go off of. So that's why it's also the second one. But when you compare it as far as movie-wise, I would say it's better. And that's why it's there. Alright, what is the next best decade? I'd have to say it is the 2010s. Yeah, 2010s were not the best. But they gave us just so much to do and to go off of. You know, when you throw enough stuff at, an audience, something ought to stick. So that's what you got. You got Rogue One, The Mandalorian, and some people liked Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, including me. Alright. So the next decade is the 2000s, which gave us the prequels and the Clone Wars. And I'd say this it was fine. Revenge of the Sith was good. We got a lot more stuff than we usually did. And this is still around the time Lucas came. So when I think about this decade, I have fond memories of Clone Wars. So it was kind of like the first main Star Wars media I watched consistently. And honestly, it's pretty good. I only really think there's 2 decades that I wish I could go back and just to have experiences. And for some weird reason, it would have been nice to see 1980 just to see the Empire Strikes Back and the Return of the Jedi for just to see the 2 movies. Alright, you already know what's the best one. The decade, 1980 decade. Because it ended off the original trilogy. It was probably the best twist in Star Wars history. And this decade gave us the toys, it gave us the start of the video games, gave us the start of the comics. You really didn't have that much boundaries to set. So you had crazy cool unknown Jedi out there, and now with the lore, it is very restricted because of what Disney wants and what Disney doesn't want, and also to make the sequel trilogy actually exist, because people like to ask what happened after the Ewok dance. JJ wasn't the first one to do that. I mean, even you in your heads probably thought about it. But he had these crazier ideas that just didn't quite make the cut because they were just too unrealistic for a trilogy. There's just too many ways to go off of, because these people would just keep rewriting it in different ways. And it kind of is unfair because it kind of carries on, but because it starts here, I liked it as a media. I think that's what probably gives it its number 1 spot. Star Wars kind of is in a weird spot right now. It's in a spot where it can be dead, and stay dead, or it can come back alive. Because that's what I feel like the spot it's in. And if Disney does this right, makes more Disney Plus shows like The Mandalorian, makes more games like Jedi Fallen Order, it's going to probably come back up. But if it tries to copy the off of what happened and last time with their trilogy, people aren't gonna like it. Like, even The Rise of Skywalker was good. I wouldn't say it particularly saved the trilogy. It just kind of retconned everything bad with The Last Jedi. It gave us a fun story to go off of. It's not terrible. It's a good movie. You know, I actually recommend you watching it. I don't care if you have to see it in the theaters, but just watching it, like, you know, on disc or renting it on, like, some website you use. You don't need to watch it over and over again. You just need to watch it once and settle your opinion on it and see if you want to keep going. That's what I recommend. But honestly, right now the media is swarming this little baby Yoda. And I think that's nice because we haven't really gotten that. We haven't really gotten any sequel memes besides Porgs and Ben Swallow and That's Not How the Force Works. And even then, those are nothing compared to some of the stuff in the prequels. Like, the prequel memes are still relevant today. So, it's nice to see the media buzzing again about this type of stuff. But, honestly, my recap on the decade that I lived in most of my life right now, it was fine. It's literally only going against the decade I was as a child, first going into preschool and kindergarten and getting ready for like first grade or something like that. So it doesn't have a lot to stack up on. But I guess a lot more have accomplished last decade for me. Even though I wasn't existent for all of it. But the decade I'm in now, I'm more aware of, I more remember. And it's good, it's pretty good. Yeah. I could have had a lot less drama. But that's it. Mostly by the media standpoint on other stuff. It varies. And after that, I guess it's just brought us into a different time of change. So, bye. I hope that 2020 makes us all happy. Okay?